certain things in life you can't beat. You can't beat this view, and you couldn't beat this guy in 2010. Now, before he introduces himself, I will say on a personal level, I'm wearing my University of Kentucky shirt. There are certain shades of orange in life that are acceptable. The Ryle orange color, acceptable. Hopkinsville shade of orange, acceptable. The Fern Creek shade of orange, acceptable. The University of Tennessee vomit-inducing shade of orange is not acceptable. So, sir, tell us who you are.
Michael Osborne, 2010 state champion at 125 pounds for Ryle.
And that's why I said the Ryle shade of orange is acceptable. Now, if you can't tell, we are in the Great Smoky Mountains. We're here. He was gracious enough to have me here on his family vacation. I drove down this morning, as of this, of course, the filming, to meet with you at this, I think this might be the biggest cabin in Tennessee. I'm not exactly sure on that, but it feels like it's the biggest cabin on Tennessee. And you're here on family vacation?
Yep, with my wife's family.
And there's, how many, just out of like
13 of us.
I thought I saw a bunch of people downstairs.
Yeah.
So you might be wondering, Alex, why did you drive to Tennessee? What are we doing in Tennessee? You actually, tell us where you live if you don't mind.
So I live in southern Alabama right now, a place called Enterprise. I'm stationed at Fort Novacell. It's an Army base, even though I'm in the Air Force now. It's about 90 miles north of Panama City Beach.
And that, I'm glad you brought up the Air Force and all. So you're stationed there.
Yep.
And of course, I think we've all been to Panama City probably at least once in our life. There, growing up, there was about 5 places my family vacationed: Kings Island, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge area, and Panama City. That was probably our 4. It was one of those 4. Just throw a dart at a board. That was where we went. But man, it's cool that you're here. It's cool that we're able to have this background, even though we are in the state of Tennessee. I thought about wearing an orange shirt this morning when I got up, and I was like, I cannot wear orange. I just can't do it. It is not in my DNA. So enough of us talking about that. What gets you into wrestling? Because Northern Kentucky, man, hotbed for wrestling. How do you find it?
Yeah, it's kind of by accident. My dad, he worked at the police department at the Cincinnati airport, which is actually in Kentucky.
Right.
And one of his buddies that he worked there with, Ken Coyle, whose son Connor wrestled for Ryle.
Okay.
Ken kept bothering my dad saying, Michael needs to try wrestling, Michael needs to try wrestling. So I think I was in 6th grade. My dad took me over to Connor Coyle's house, and they had a few mats. Not the kind you roll out, the kind, like the rectangular kind you fold up, in a garage, like. So he had a few of those in his garage, and he showed me a few moves in his garage about, what would that have been? 6th grade, so 6 years, 2004 maybe, thereabouts. Rolled around, showed me a few moves, went to a few youth practices, then just kind of kept going from there. Started wrestling at the Ryle Raider youth program when Mike Palmer was coaching. Went and got my butt whooped my first tournament. Mikey Musselman, I still remember him from Ohio. He pinned me. I beat him later in high school though.
That's got to give him back, right?
Never really left after that.
I understand. And in the 04, 05 era, you had Kyle Rochelle, I guess, to look up to.
Oh yeah,
and
I still remember watching him win. I think I was in 7th grade when he was a senior.
The one of the best, which, I mean, you guys will see the video, but you look at, I've got it wrote down here. Ryle has 4 most outstanding wrestlers: Kyle Rochelle, 119 pounds, 05. You in 2010, Noah Duke in 21, and then Cole Thomas in 22. So it's hard to say, which one of these guys has the best performance in the state finals to win that most outstanding award. But I'm telling you, man, I've got the video on all this. I'm gonna say yours is probably the best. It really is. Of course, you guys will see it. So you join the Raider program, and I've refereed, feels like forever now, but every time you go like to not necessarily where I live in the eastern part of the state, because it is a long trip for Northern Kentucky to make it, but like when you get to like the middle school state, the youth state, there's like 1,000 kids wearing like the Raider, Ryle, or what is Ryle's feeder school up there?
Gray Middle School?
Gray, yes, yep. Gray, that's it, Gray. And you see, all the, the dads and stuff wearing, you can tell at one point they come through Ryle. So the Ryle tradition is deep. You got, Tim up there does a really good job. Yep. Darren, Thomas, Cole's dad, you know, they all that whole crew does a phenomenal job with that program. But let's go through a little bit of things here. In 2007, I've got you 103 pounds as a freshman. You make it to the state tournament, but it's a learning experience, right? What's the old saying? In jiu-jitsu, you win or you learn.
Yep.
And I guess that was a learning year. 2008, 112 pounds, 4th place. I got you with wrestling Travis Sullivan in the semifinals, dropping a 6-8 decision. And there's nothing wrong with losing to Travis Sullivan by that, because he was the 3-time defending state champion, and he goes on in the finals. He gets upset, or gets beat. I don't say upset, but he gets beat by Corey Spencer. But I've got you, like I said, 4th place, and the team comes in 2nd that year. So that was, we'll talk about team scores just in a second. 2009, 2nd place, 119 pounds. Again, you run into another 3-time state champion in the finals. You drop a 4-2 decision to Matt Zarth of Henry Clay. Again, Matt Zarth, 07, 08, 09 state champion. I mean, that's hard. That's 2 years, man. You run into a 3-time state champion into either in the championship or the semifinals. And, I mean, I'm not saying those are disappointments, but you have to be happy with your progress and knowing who you're wrestling.
Yeah, I think Travis whooped me earlier that year. It was either my freshman year or early sophomore year. I want to say he tossed me and pinned me quick.
And that was what Travis, I mean, to this day, Travis is still known for having some of the best, like, because that's Wayne County. They do, you know, Greco on the off season, freestyle and all that. And Travis has some of the best, like, throw pins you'll ever.
Yeah, he tossed everybody.
Because I got to referee a bunch on that end of the state, and I was like, man, you know, this is going. I might as well go ahead and just start and just kind of lay down, because Travis is going to be throwing people. But in 2010 is the year of Michael Osborne. The first round at the state tournament, you're undefeated coming in.
In Kentucky, so I lost a few times up in Ohio.
Okay, I don't remember who it was I was talking to about. Maybe we've been trying to set this up for a while, and maybe it was at the state meet or semi-state we had at Ryle this year. They were talking about that, and I think they said you were undefeated. But I think it was, you're right, in Kentucky. First round, you're wrestling Brian Hockenberry from Belfry. You win that by a pin, 1 minute, 18 seconds. So you get in, you get out, get it done, bam, bam, let's do it. Second round, you're wrestling Brian Crawley from Louisville Southern. You win that by a fall, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. You get to the quarterfinals, you're wrestling Mac Logston of Woodford County. You win that by a fall, 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Man, what took you so long? Huh?
Mac was tough. I wrestled him a few times, actually.
Almost had to go to the 3rd period, man. What's going on here? Semifinals, you're wrestling Jace Carr from Johnson Central. You win that by a fall in an incredible 37 seconds. Now, for those of you that know Kentucky history, Jace goes on to be a 3-time or a 2-time state champion, 3-time finalist. He goes to moves to Union County. His family relocates to Union County. 2011 and 2012 state champion, 2013 runner-up. So you pin a 2-time state champion in 37 seconds on a mission. Now we get to the finals. You are wrestling Josh Lopez, and you can probably guess how the match ends, but we're not going to tell you. We got the video. But before we go on a little bit of that, in 2010, Ryle had 9 place winners. He had TJ Rochelle, 112, 3rd place. Mark, some guy named Mark Hall, maybe you've heard of him, 2nd place. Now, was Mark your practice partner?
That year we
kind of, sort of.
We all wrestled together. So
I
I'd
got
say
you.
the person I wrestled the most with was probably Austin Palmer.
I got you.
Same grade, or both being seniors, right? We grew up together in Ryle.
Okay, that makes sense. And I mean, you got to look at this here: 112, 119, 125, 130. All you guys placed 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. You got Mark Hall below you at 119, 2nd place, and Austin Palmer one weight above you at 100 or 130 that wins it. Yep. So I mean, you guys are, you know, a bloodbath in practice. It's probably tougher in practice than what it was in matches, right?
Oh yeah, and then Caleb Lonkard, really athletic guy. Zach Rowland, we called him Country because he was country strong. He beat up on me in practice too. It was all the way up and down.
So Austin, 130 pounds, 1st place. 135, Caleb Lonkard, 8th place. 140 pounds, Zach Rowland, 3rd place. 152, Connor Coyle, runner-up.
He's the one whose dad invited me over to his garage.
I got you. 160 pounds, Court Mace, 5th place. And 215 pounds, Taylor Pruitt, 7th place. So you had 9 placers. You guys come in 2nd place behind Trinity, and it really was a 2-horse race. Trinity had 232 points. Ryle 204, and then the next closest team was Union County with 129. So it was really a 2-horse, just who's going to do it, right?
Yep.
And Ryle has 4 team state runner-ups. 05 they tied with LaRue County. 08 second place, 2010 second place, and then 21 second place. So a lot of good. So a lot of your names. Your, like I said, your Kyle Rochelle's, your TJ's, Cole Thomas. I mean, just the names. We could go on and on. And I've got Ryle with 23 individual state champions for a school that was built in what, like 95, I believe, was
Probably
it?
something like
okay.
that, yeah.
And to have 23, individual state. The first one we're going to be doing the video with, or the first Ryle state champion is Jordan Blackmore, and we met with his brother Brett. It'd be what, 6 videos before this one in the playlist. We met with Brett at his house. Jordan lives in California, so we're going to do a Zoom with him and do his video that way because he has the DVD of it. He's going to convert it for us. But I mean, from 2001 to 2023, 23 state champions, man. That's a lot. That's rolling. So another cool little factoid that I dug up while doing research for this is you also won the most pins in the least amount of time award. You had 5 pins in a total of 8 minutes and 53 seconds. So Kentucky also gives out the fastest pin, most pins in the least amount of time award, along with the most outstanding. And I've done some research, and there's a very short list of people who have won the most pins in the least amount of time and the most outstanding in the same season. So let's go through that list real quick. Some guy from 1988, Simon Kenton, named Dave Barnes, done it. Maybe you've heard of Dave Barnes. I think you said he's one of your coaches,
yeah.
or
well, yeah, he was always around the program.
I got you.
Same area, and then I worked for Dave in the summer
Oh.
a couple times. Yeah.
I got you. And of course, Dave's video's on the channel. Willie Ennels from Hopkinsville, 1992, did 160 pounds. Bruce Stepp from Sheldon Clark, 1994, his video's on the channel. George King, in my opinion, one of the best and most dominant runs in the state finals. He done it in 2000 at 171 pounds. Jacob Merton, Lawrence County, 2006, he did it. You did it. Caleb Irvin did it in 2011. And Casey Cornett from Simon Kenton did it in 2017. So that list, if somebody says hello on the text message, that is a very, very, very prestigious list to be on, to pin your whole way through, win the most outstanding the most outstanding wrestler award, and have the most pins in the least amount of time. I mean, that is dominant. That's domination. You can say it. You agree with that? You can say that, man. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I had a good state tournament. We prepped wrestling up in Ohio. The first half of the season helped us a lot. Coach Rochelle structured it that way on purpose. Go up to Ohio the first half of the season, and then around after Christmas, we'd come down for Kentucky, go down to the South Oldham tournament,
Right.
which was a lot of times like a mini state with some of the teams that came there.
It's called the Dragon, I believe. Is that right?
That's
Okay.
right. Yep. And then, having wrestled guys like Travis Sullivan and Matt
Travis.
Zarth growing up through wrestling there, I don't know, prepped me pretty well.
And that's like I said, running into Matt as a junior in the finals and then running into Travis as a sophomore in the semis, man, you couldn't really pick 2 harder people back-to-back years to have to meet in the state tournament. I mean, especially at those weights you were at, man. Travis's run those 3 years, I think he broke a national win record as a senior, like 400, some crazy amount of wins that he had. And then Matt Zarth is considered Lexington, like maybe not post high school because you got Dominic Black, but as far as the Lexington Fayette County area, Matt's considered to be one of the best to ever come out of Fayette County. And you met him back-to-back years. And then when it was your time, man, it was your time. You come out and done what you had to do.
Yeah, like I said, wrestling those guys early on helped a lot, and then just my coaches prepping me. Rick Barker, he's been there with Coach Rochelle forever. He used to beat up on me all 4 years, and then Larry Mickelson as well. And Larry helped me a lot with the mental game. I think my biggest issue, especially freshman, sophomore years, was confidence.
I got you.
I wrestled about 60% of my practice ability, so Larry really, got into my head and helped me let loose, especially the junior and senior year.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is exactly what it takes. Now, normally this would be the part of the video where we would do the, like, show the awards and all that, but you're on vacation. We're not going to bring them, so you guys are going to get to see photos. Now, on the video that you guys are going to see, of course, you're handed, Coach Bancamper from Campbell County gives you your medal, the bracket, and a plaque, and that was something really cool that the KHSAA done. Also, you know, they gave you guys plaques. You guys are seeing a photo of it. That way, I mean, you can't always wear your medal, or you can't, you know, wear it in the office or wherever, but you can hang up that plaque, and everybody's like, oh, wow, my boss is a state, whatever, dad's a state champion, my husband is a state champion. And the guys that hold on to this stuff, you know how much it means. And it's in, great condition. You sent me a photo of like a state cutout. It says Kentucky High School Athletic Association, Michael Osborne, wrestling ceremony, 125 pounds, Ryle High School. That, I guess, did the school give you that photo?
Let me see this one. Sorry, that might have been at our team banquet.
Okay,
because
I
know that the tournament you get the medal, right, and then you get a plaque for most pins, I think, at least amount of time, and then the MOW is that like bronze looking trophy. So I'm pretty sure that came from the high school.
Okay, that's cool. Then this is something that, I mean, if you wasn't from the area, you wouldn't know it existed. But we've seen Dave Barnes. They win the Northern Kentucky Athletic Conference Most Outstanding Wrestler of the Year with that wonderful pose that you would never teach somebody the
terrible stance.
That stance that you'd never teach somebody to stand in.
Looks like a free diver.
Yeah, for real. Like we're getting ready to I don't want to say the word basketball. It's like somebody's playing defense on basketball. Then of course you got the classic. It's called the Classic Trophy for the most outstanding, and that goes back to the 80s. I'm not exactly, because I don't have any videos of the 70s. The 1969 video I have, it doesn't show it has the match of the most outstanding wrestler, but it doesn't have the trophy presentation, so I really don't know what they were given. But it's cool to have. And of course your medal, that is in great shape. The ribbon, everything looks good. And I mean, in doing this, the amount of guys that were dating somebody, engaged, whatever it is, you know how you are when you meet a lady and she sweeps you off your feet. It's like, oh, here, take everything, honey. The amount of guys that have give ladies they were dating their class rings, championship ring, their medal, their Letterman jacket. 2 months later they're broke up, they never see it again. Like, you might love her, but don't give her your wrestling stuff. You know what I'm saying? Keep all that, put that up somewhere. Don't let her get that. No matter how much it means, then just trust me, hold on to it. So we're going to transition inside to the cabin to where we can watch the match video. We thought this would be a nice view out here under the clouds with the Smoky Mountains behind us. So, man, we're going to go inside. We'll see you guys at the Dungeon 2010. All right, you guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at the Dungeon 2010 KHSAA State Wrestling Championship bouts, 125 pounds. Josh Lopez, Franklin County, 40-7, and of course you at 42-4. So all the other 4 losses, or your 4 losses, I say, come out of state, correct?
Ohio, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You had a much better win percentage than most people. Let me just. So you're second time in the finals as a senior, knowing this is the last time I'm ever going to wear that Ryle uniform, Ryle singlet. You just saw Mark, your teammate, come up. He lost a 6-2 decision to Bradbury from Trinity. You guys in Trinity running neck and neck for that team race. You do the face-off. You go back to the practice area. Where do you go? What are you thinking about, like, before you come onto the mat?
There's that little warm-up area. From the Ryle section, I think it was down and to the right of the.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, of the mat. So just back there doing my normal warm-up. Just thinking about my match. Sucked to see Mark lose, but he's a hammer. He's like 12 years old in the state finals. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think it turned out all right for him, don't you?
Yeah, I think he's okay.
I think you've done all right in life.
But yeah, just trying to focus on my match, go through my normal warm-up prep, and treat it like any other match.
I got you. Now, of course, in case you've never at the Dungeon. Of course, the Dungeon doesn't exist now. They tore it down. But
that's so sad.
Like this camera angle, like when it's facing, like you can see the KHSAA state banner there. The practice area was in behind that. Like they had that practice mat there. So you're back there. You are, jiving, headphones on, I guess, or whatever it is that you're doing. is it, okay, this is another match, this is just a regular another 6 minutes, or I'm going out with an exclamation point?
Trying to wrestle my match, treat it like another match, but find an extra gear if I could.
I got you.
I felt good though at that point. I was pretty confident. I wasn't arrogant, you know. I knew he got to the finals for a reason, but just trying to do what I'd done every other match. So it was way in the back of my mind that, you know, it was the last match for Ryle. But once the match was over, of course that came up. And
I can understand. Now, had you wrestled Josh before?
No, I don't think I had.
Okay, because Franklin County, the dungeon was in Frankfort. Hometown guy. I'm sure he has a lot of family friends there. Did you have a big contingent of your family, friends, all that there?
Yep, I had a lot of support.
I got you.
From Ryle Wrestling itself, and then just friends and family that didn't really go to much wrestling, but came down for that. So.
The state championship always brings people out. It seems like, especially nowadays. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Got the Hells Bells going here. You've got, you guys are set. You blink, I blink, right? You blink first.
Yeah.
I'm not blinking. So you got Rocky.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. Watch, I'm pretty sure I take a bad shot early. I don't set it up because I'm anxious and I just want to get a takedown quick.
And you got Jeremy Callan. So there you go. There's that infamous AHA banner. Yep.
Bad shot.
Back out. No harm. No harm.
Larry Mickelson told me to set it up. Coach Larry there in the corner.
Both of you guys, of course, wearing the white. Of course, you got the pinstripes down your side, or the Adidas stripes. There you go. Nice trip. Get your two. You're going for like a stud cradle, I guess you call it.
Yeah, and then I think we go to bounds here. I think I end up using a Barnesy at the end. We'll see here.
There it is. You're trying for it. Out of bounds. And if you notice, the announcer's already starting to call for the other weights to come for their medals because they know this is not going to be a long match. Oh, got a caution. Got a caution. So there it is. You're on top. You're running that head lever. Are you thinking pin as quick as I can? Let's get this over with.
No, I'm kind of just trying to wrestle. Like I keep saying, wrestle my match, but working what I normally do. But yeah, I did like the pin. I like to be on my feet or pin.
It's getting some near fall. Doing what you're supposed to. You're off your knees. You can tell you're a senior. You've been here before. You readjust. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can readjust to that pin combination like that. And there it is. You get the pin. Give the salute to the Ryle crowd. I'm sure young Cole Thomas is in the crowd somewhere. I don't know that, but I would have to imagine.
Probably, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, I was telling him good job.
That's what I was going to say.
Will come. I think he was a freshman, so.
Of course, we got the medal ceremony. Just so we're clear, the AHA banner that you guys saw, if you guys know anybody with AHA who can get in contact with the video archive, please contact me. I really would like to speak to somebody because they have a lot of footage that I would like to get my hands on. There's Chris McCoy. And then I think this is a Lafayette wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. Alan Martin giving the medal. Such a great atmosphere. The lights were down. That ceremonial music. I mean, it's just.
They need to bring it back.
Oh, dude.
Wrestling under the lights. I know we can't go back there because it's gone, but I think a lot of people are clamoring for that right now.
Oh, dude, listen. There's Jace.
Yep.
Like I said, goes on to be a two-timer. New pin in 37 seconds. There's Coach Bedita. Much respect for Coach Bedita from Connor.
Yeah.
Coach Wayne.
There's Coach Bandcamper giving you that medal you've worked so hard for, that plaque and your bracket. You take your rightful place atop that number 1 spot. There's a couple other little things we threw on here. The most pins in the least amount of time award. Did you realize you'd won that award before they announced it?
I knew it was likely just because I'd pinned all 5.
There you come, man. And did you expect to be in the running for most outstanding this year?
I'll be honest, I didn't really think about it till then, and I'd watched the rest of the matches, and I was thinking about pinning everybody, but there was a lot of other hammers there, so it's kind of like, there's an outside chance, but it wasn't anywhere on my radar before the tournament, honestly.
So it was a total surprise when they was like,
yeah,
right here whenever they announced it. So you're like, wow, I just...
Yeah, I think it's the first time I smiled yet because I was surprised by that one.
Hey, man, you earned it. I mean, you absolutely earned it. And then, of course, we mentioned earlier, Ryle comes in second place as a team. We have the trophy presentation of that, so that way you can kind of throw some shots at your homeboys.
Yeah, there's Palmer, Court Mace, Josh Parker, Kyle Sparks. Trying to see the back of their heads.
Yeah.
And then you interviewed Josh's dad, Richie, I know already.
Yep, Richie Parker.
There's Zach Rowland, it looks like holding it. There's Mark.
Yep, see
To
Mark
the right
there.
of Palmer there, Austin Palmer.
See Coach Rochelle in there.
Yep. Caleb Lonkard, Gus Adams, Taylor Pruitt, Corey Buckler, Josh Williamson. I think I got the whole team. Of course, TJ up there.
TJ.
There's Connor Coyle to the right with that black head there.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zach Bolog in the back. Rick and Larry are on the right there.
Yep. And, you know, like I said, it was you guys in Trinity, 2-horse race. We met with Grant Ullman and done Grant's 2010 review, and I went through it. I mean, man, did you guys duel Trinity that year? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if we did or not.
Because that would have been a heck of a duel as a fan, to wrestle in, to referee, just to spectate. Because, I mean, some of the names on your team, some of the names on, you know, you had Hitchings, you had Bradbury, Grant, you had just so many dudes that you're just like, you hear the stories about, or you see, you know, like I said, at the end of a bracket, or the lore lives on forever with them. Just like, wow, this would have been, you know, I think Gorilla Monsoon at WrestleMania 3 when Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant wrestled. It was the immovable object meeting the unstoppable force. That's what that would have been if you guys would have dueled. Probably would come down to maybe the last bout, the way some of these lineups would have went. But man, watching it back, of course you've got to see it several times. But like every time you watch it, is it like you get any like butterflies, or you think it maybe the ending will change, or just?
Not that anything will change, but yeah, butterflies. Remembering some of the jitters, and then mostly I think about the team shot there at the end. All those guys. Most of us still stay in touch. And
I got you.
When I do make it back to Northern Kentucky, it's kind of like never left. 4th of July parties at Coach Rochelle's place. Some of you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we're still pretty tight, a lot of us. So. And
you know, and that's what it should be. That's what high school athletics, whether you play basketball, football, wrestle, baseball, whatever your the drama team, band, whatever it is, because people don't understand just how important being a part of a team is. The interscholastic activities that you find out who you are, and whether you may get beat by somebody else, they may pin you, but you're thinking, if you take a step back and you look at yourself, you're like, okay, what was it about me that caused me to get beat? Did I not work hard enough in the off season? Am I not strong enough? Do I not have the right technique? And if you look at the lessons that you learn from, not just with wrestling, but any sport basically, or any activity you compete in, like, okay, what was it about me that I didn't do my best? What do I need to change about me? And, you know, you take those lessons and you go on through the rest of your life. And basically, I'm not saying what you do in high school shapes how you are for eternity, but you can learn so much about yourself competing in a high school sport. And that's why one of the reasons I love getting to do this series is, you know, look at guys then and look at guys now. You know, you're a dad, you're a husband, you're in the military, and just how, you know, different life paths take people. But you can always, you know, hear guys say, I remember, you know, coach made me do this in 7th grade and it stuck with me. Or I remember, I was being a little fart head in 8th grade and coach made me miss going to this tournament.
Well, I do have a story like
go
that.
tell it.
So
Absolutely.
8th grade, I wrestled with Gray Middle School, and then Keith Rochelle, Tim Rochelle's oldest son, was the coach at Gray Middle School. So
Okay.
you noticed Rochelle was everywhere in the Ryle wrestling.
I think those two
community.
go together. They can't be
Yeah,
separated.
That's right. But I didn't place as an 8th grader. So I was my 3rd year of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't place as an 8th grader at middle school state. And in my head, I said I was a head case. I thought too much. That's why Coach Mickelson had to just tell me to stop thinking and go wrestle. But in my head, I was thinking, man, I didn't place as an 8th grader. Maybe wrestling's not for me. And Keith Rochelle said, you could be a high school state champ. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I'll wrestle in high school. It sounds silly, but it was literally like that. Him saying that might have been the difference between me going out the next year or not.
I believe that 100,000% that is what, maybe not what kept you in, but just that little thought of, maybe, you know, I can do this. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought the kid like me that had speech pathology from kindergarten through senior because I couldn't string 5 words together would have the biggest wrestling channel on YouTube?
It's an awesome one.
For real, who would have thought that, you know, I had to go 3 times a week to speech pathology classes because I couldn't hardly speak. And now, I mean, I'm driving across state lines to do a YouTube series, a YouTube video. So you never know what it will be, what lesson you'll get from wrestling, from playing basketball, from football, from cheerleading or dance, band, whatever it is. And that's, you know, just, it's so great that what high school athletics give to people. I mean, it truly, truly is, and it's evident by the popularity of this series. Man, do you have anything to wrap it up? Put a bow on this one?
No, just thanks for driving down to see me. I know you live close-ish, but
yeah,
it's probably all morning down to get down here. So
it's a little bit more than 4 hours, but like I said, growing up, vacationed here a bunch, and I stopped at the Apple Barn, ate lunch there. So it was like, man, if I'm going to come down for the day, I'm going to make the most of it. And of course, getting to meet with you is the highlight of the trip. But you can't pass up the Apple Barn, and you can't on the way out. I'm going to stop and hit some putt-putt golf courses.
I think we're going to be there tonight.
Okay,
so.
the putt-putt golf and the go-kart tracks on the Pigeon Forge Strip. You better watch out. I'm coming to win the prizes, if you know what I'm saying. So that's all we got, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you to open up your vacation spot and let me come up here. We have some really, really, really big names coming in Kentucky wrestling, and I don't want to share them here. It's called a tease in the entertainment business, but I got some really big names coming. I can't wait for you guys to see the videos. But until then, we'll see you guys on the mats.